here. The Super Bowl is drawing near. It's been quite the year without Calvin Ridley. We saw the NFL cancel a game, Washington finally deciding on a name. Thursday night football sucked all year, and somehow Deshaun Watson is still playing here. Brady retired, then retired again, then decided to put a movie out with Lily Tomlin. Favre knew ways to use a phone. Hackett just proved to be a drone, cause anything can happen in the year without Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley. McCaffrey went to San Fran, Kingsbury went to Thailand. Arian Foster said the NFL is all playing. How many timeouts did Peyton Manning call? Kamara give a new meaning to the word ball. An interception called by Patrick Starr. Another missed kick by Brett Maher. These are some things that happened in 22. Jets got sauce and then still blew. Chargers still Charger, the comeback gets larger. Every hit makes Tua's head softer. The owners still want the season even longer. But what if? The Dolphins drafted Herbert, or Rodgers stayed the whole year in his yurt. And what if Geno Smith had written back? Would Jacoby still ladle the back to Mac? How does McVay's hair stay up through the playoffs? Will we ever get to see a neutral site kickoff? Will Watson get the same treatment as that rookie punter? Or will he use his guarantees to end world hunger? How many cartwheels can Poe do in a row? If the Texans have the number one, will they throw a Hail Mary to the end zone to give it to the Bears? These are questions we all wanted an answer to. In August 22, a whole season of games, hoping for something new. Since anything can happen in the year without Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley.
Oh, your eyes, they tell the truth. All the line from me to you. We know it's tangled up in blue. What if we unravel? We could go anywhere to get this soon.
All right, you're watching Once Upon a Time in Las Vegas, the rise of the greatest sports betting show in the world, Super Bowl extravaganza, with me, Rocky Foré, and him, the Steamroller.
What's up, Rock? How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm fantastic.
Excellent. We're going to have a lot of fun talking to a little Super Bowl 57, all that good stuff. Rock, did you have a good week off? Did you have fun?
Yeah, I spent the last week learning about Mount Vesuvius and Pompeii.
The song by Bastille?
That was part of it. That was part of my my learning.
Were you going to be an optimist about this?
I was going to be an optimist about this, and it turns out it's not a good idea to build a volcano next to a city. I stole that joke from Diane Morgan.
Do you say build a volcano next to a city?
Yeah.
See, you guys got to watch that show.
Okay.
You do have to watch The World According to Kunk. My favorite joke, talking to a guy, an expert about the pyramids. Did they start at the top or did they start at the bottom?
I live 15 miles from Mount St. Helens, and I don't think that's funny.
It was a lot less funny about 45 years ago. So, what was it, 79 that blew?
I thought it was 80.
Yeah. 79.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Same.
Yeah, you were a mere decade and a half from being born. So let's talk about the guys that have pretty much been with us all season long. The folks over there at No House Advantage. It's fantasy sports redefined. You can win up to 21 times your original bet when you play against the house, or you can play against regular folks like yourself for cash prizes. Of course, we've got a deal. Just go over there and check out No House Advantage. Go to nohouseadvantage.com or download the No House Advantage app. When you make that first deposit, and I know you're going to want to, make sure you use the code WNW to cash yourself a first deposit bonus up to and including 100 beans. So make sure you check that out. Our good friends over there at nohouseadvantage.com. All right. And, of course, want to remind you guys that everybody that you're going to see here on the show today, with the exception of Scott Reichel, who's just a little too cool, has premium picks for sale. So make sure you go over to the winnersandwhiners.com, check out the experts tab, and pick out the hottest expert around. We got the records there and how they've been doing recently, so you'll be able to grab the guy that gives you the best chance to cash your tickets for that night. And we will drop some information there in the description of today's video. All right. With that being said, let's meet the cappers, shall we? This redefines all-star panel. It really does. Every one of these gentlemen you have seen throughout the season on the show. He's the pride of Colorado. He can now appear in public again since the Broncos and the Buffaloes have hired brand new coaches. Great things are expected in Colorado. It's Mason Foles, everybody. What's up, Mason Foles?
What's up, Steamroller? I'm doing well. Hope you are too. Super excited for the Super Bowl. I'm going to hold my tongue on the Broncos and the Buffs so far. They put me into a pretty dark place this last fall, so I'm just going to let them figure it out. Bring it back this next year.
I'll tell you what; those are two great teams to bet on, though.
Yeah, it is very true. I did make a lot of money fading them.
Well, yeah, the Denver unders and fading Colorado was just absolute money in the bank. So thank you to the great state of Colorado. He is the pride of Brooklyn, everybody. Brooklyn, New York. No sleep till Brooklyn, and that sums up him perfectly as he was the victim of a 5-hour nap yesterday.
4.5, but who's counting? So.
Okay. And he tweeted like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, just woke up from a 4-hour nap.
You wish it was 5 in the afternoon. It was midnight.
Oh, was it midnight? You woke up from your nap?
It was midnight. Then I recorded my free pick, and then I watched Sopranos for about 6 hours. That's how I spent my night. So there you go.
Welcome to the wonderful world of handicapping, everybody. That's the kind of hours we burn. By the way, it's Scott Reichel. There's your official introduction. You don't have like a clever nickname. It's not Scott the whatever Reichel.
No, I just stick with, the name I was given.
I thought maybe after watching The Sopranos, you'd come up with a nickname for yourself.
I'm working on it, but Gabagool doesn't sound good with Reichel, so I'm going to have to stick with what I got.
Gabagool Reichel. All right. He's the pride of Toledo, Ohio, by way of Cleveland, Ohio, now making his home in Houston, Texas. David Delano. What up, Double D?
Glad to be here. John Denver's got a song, Saturday Night in Toledo, Ohio. If you ever want to know more about it, just spend 2 minutes listening to that song. But it's
I like John Denver. He's very, very good. His last recording, 45 Seconds Over the Pacific Ocean, not nearly as popular, but I digress. I do like some good John Denver. The dude can sing. So, and now let's talk about his Buffalo Bills a little bit. No, we're not gonna do that. Just old history. He's a Bills fan, but at least he's got the Cubs season to look forward to. So there's that. It's Chris King, everybody, the king of parlays. What's up, Chris?
Brighter days are coming on the north side of Chicago. It might not be this year, but hey, at least they won a World Series lately. It's more than we can say about the Royals.
I believe the Royals won a World Series after the Cubs, dude.
No, the Cubs won in 2016.
I'm trying to think of the math.
Cubs won 16?
Yeah.
I thought they were 13.
Somewhat recent.
I think the Cubs were the year after, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. That was a low blow.
It seems like ancient history. Well, it's not as long as the Buffalo Bills' last Super Bowl win. I'll tell you that much. So we're gonna talk a little football today. I know it's gonna be hard for everybody but me, as their teams fell by the wayside in one form or the other. Rocky's team made the playoffs. No one else is. The Bills made the playoffs, didn't they? Oh, that's right. They one and done. Sure. And
they weren't one and done.
What's that?
They weren't one and done. They beat the Dolphins.
Yep. Oh, that's right.
Does that count?
Sorry.
Technically.
Hey, they put it on the schedule.
It counts.
And the guy that's been chiming in already, he is the true GOAT.
Thank you.
That's because he raises them. All the way from the wilds of Washington in the shadow of Mount St. Helens, praying for no more eruptions. Would that get you, buddy? It's Loud Esmond, everybody. Would that
Yeah, I'm well within the blast radius if Mount St. Helens went off again. Be hard for it too, though, because half the mountain is gone. So when that top came off last time. So it's pretty dormant now.
And I don't think did they ever find poor Harry Truman?
No.
You probably remember, Loud. I doubt if everybody else does, but he was like the last guy on the mountain.
Yeah.
He was the equivalent of the people that are going to ride out the hurricane. and you never saw him again. And he was on the mountain, and he was gonna ride it out, and nobody tell him to move. And then they blew half the face of the mountain away, and we never saw Harry again. So good times. All right, a couple quick questions about the Super Bowl, then we'll go to break and we'll come back and we'll handicap it. Are the right two teams there? Does anybody think? I think this is how I'm going to do this. Does anybody not think the right two teams are there? Yeah, David, I know, like me, you were on the Niners. I really liked the cut of the Niners, Jib. I thought I had them in that game as well, and I thought they'd make a better showing. But of course, losing your quarterback in the first quarter is a bit of a problem. So.
And you're back.
Yeah, we didn't see enough to be able to say that the Niners would have won for sure. So I don't want to take anything away from the Eagles, but we didn't. The Niners never really had a fair chance.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a competitive game.
Yeah, when you got the towel boy playing quarterback in the second half, you kind of have problems.
Yeah, exactly right. Mm-hmm. Exactly right. And here's the other question that we did ask. A lot is being made in the media about the Kelsey brothers. That's pretty cool, but. The other thing is the first time two black quarterbacks have faced off against each other. First of all, that surprised me. I was surprised that it hadn't happened previously. But is that a big deal, or is it just becoming just becoming more commonplace and it's not a big deal, or it can kind of be both?
I think that it's a little bit of both. It shows a sign of the times, but I think it's a big deal because. Even if you don't necessarily think of it, if you're not seeing black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl frequently, subconsciously, you could start to think that you look at black quarterbacks and think that they can't get it done. So obviously one day, hopefully the next step is two black head coaches in the Super Bowl.
Very good. Yeah, absolutely. I think the NFL still struggles a little bit there on the black head coach front for sure. Of course, I'm old enough to remember when it was before Doug Williams. It was Joe Gilliam with the Steelers. Chris, I know you probably remember that as well.
And James Harris played with the Rams and the Bills back in the 70s too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely correct. So there's been some high quality black quarterbacks before, but it was always, it was kind of subtle racism because he's very athletic, he's big and strong. It was kind of the generic equivalent of he's very well spoken, where it's just sort of the subtle digs and it's sort of the subtle things that was just permeated society back then. So yeah, I like to think we've come a long way to recognizing that black quarterbacks and white quarterbacks can both be very good and they can be terrible. So and I think we're going to see maybe Ohio State brings in another quarterback next year. Anybody? I know. Did you bring it up before it's the first time? I know somebody did about any quarterback you're excited about coming out of college?
I think it was actually post-recording. I think it was post-recording.
Post-recording? Okay.
Sometimes we leave our best stuff in the breaks. And yeah, I brought that up because I don't see anybody who's a first round sure thing draft pick at QB.
Okay, Rachel, you guys need a quarterback. Who do you like coming out of that draft? Who do you hope the Jets take?
I'd rather trade for somebody. Let's put it that way. I don't really like any of the quarterbacks either. I think Bryce Young is too small. I know that according to some reports, he's trying to gain 15, 25 pounds. I'm curious how tall he's going to be listed. What is he, like 5'9", 5'10"? I don't trust his ability to stay healthy. There are questions about Tua being undersized in college, and we've seen how that's turned out so far. And Young's even smaller than he was. But Levis is the opposite, where he didn't have the stats, but he has the stature and the overall measurables. So it's kind of the exact opposite. But I wanted to see more consistency from him. And I don't believe in blindly drafting guys because they can be good when you've seen them play football and they're not good. So I'm not a fan of him either. I think Stroud's the interesting one because I didn't like him at all during the overall season, but then he looked really good against Georgia. And I don't know. I don't want to say he turned me. It also helps that he had the best receiving core in the entire country, but I think Stroud is probably the best blend of guys that I've seen, but I'm still not sold on anybody. So I'm with Loud. I guess if I had to pick anybody right now, I would probably lean to, for long-term answers, I don't like anybody. But I guess I'll lean Stroud because he's kind of a mix of good athlete and just overall good pocket presence, or at least good arm. So I'd probably lean him, but I wouldn't want any of these guys.
Just think about how different Levis would be looked at if he had the receivers that Stroud had, though. Because he's throwing to it in Kentucky. Nobody.
For the record, we also would have accepted no.
I think if you're a team that can use a little bit of patience, that doesn't need to throw somebody in right away, that may want to stash somebody for the future, like maybe a Dallas, I think Hendon Hooker of Tennessee could be worth a flyer. He could possibly miss all of next season with the injury, but
I'd probably be more excited about Hooker than I am about Stroud or maybe even Bryce Young.
Well, the difference is the age. Because Hooker's what, 25, 26?
True.
Yeah. I wait until the second or third round and I get Max Duggan if I'm going to go project.
You know that the quarterback draft class isn't great when people are trying to hype up Tanner McKee from Stanford. That's not exactly a good prospect you want to hype up if you watch him.
By the way, I think everybody, we blew past the big news of the off week. Tua was cleared from concussion protocol. So
nice. So he can play this week.
just in time. Reluctantly crouched at the starting line.
They didn't have him cleared for the Pro Bowl. It's disappointing.
No, he was not cleared for the Pro Bowl. So
God, I wanted to see him on the flag football field.
He probably would have suffered his fourth concussion taking a snap.
It would have been fun. I'll tell you, the worst headshot my kid ever took playing football was in flag football, as him and another guy dove for the goal line at the same time and crashed heads. No helmets, that's the worst head injury he ever got playing, 12 years of organized football.
I have to ask you guys, do you think Tua has anything left at this point? I mean, granted, I know he's young. But
left. Do you mean overall talent? Do you mean overall trust from teams? Or do you mean he doesn't know where he is anymore?
Probably the last two.
The last two?
What kind of long-term effects have these head injuries had? I think
right.
Kind of what you're asking, right?
In reality, the question is any team going to trust him again? Not just because of the fact that they don't trust him to stay healthy. It's because if he gets hurt again, it's a PR fiasco because the medical staff cleared him again. So there's a whole separate can of worms here. I'm really curious if he will get another contract from any team after his current contract expires. I'm curious.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Somebody will take a flyer on him. I promise you. Absolutely. That somebody, if he does not re-sign with Miami, somebody will 100% give him a shot. So, all right, guys, that's the kind of the intro portion. Take a look at these messages. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk a little NFL football. I believe the Super Bowl is. Yeah, it is. So we're going to talk about that and handicap it. Give you each of our opinions on the sides and the totals on Super Bowl 57. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming out. It's been a great season working with you all. Unfortunately, due to my reckless spending and the lawyer fees for my libel case, I can only afford to keep about 2 of you next year. So, that's where we're at. But I believe in hard work and merit, so I'll be making my decision the old-fashioned way with a combine. You mean the NFL combine? Yes, Steehn. What other combine is there? They got other combines, like harvesters. Damn it, Chris, this show's about football. Now go out there and show me your best stuff. Sorry, Mason. The old 3-cone drill. Today's actually a pretty ideal day to do it. It's been a crisp 73 degrees. Wind coming out about the northeast, definitely better than the southwest. I probably couldn't run this very well if it was coming out of the southwest. About a 0 to none chance of rain. Should be all right. This is George Washington Park, right? Not George Washington Carver Park? Or is this George Washington Carver Park? Or George Washington Park? It's definitely George Washington Carver Park, right? I think it used to be called Washington Carver. And then took off the Carver. Whatever. On your mark. Get set. Go. Oh, God. Did you shoot me? I'm running a Discord here. Was that an M1 Garand? Ready? Go. Is that Donovan Peoples-Jones? David, come back. It's not Donovan Peoples-Jones. It could be. Why would Donovan Peoples-Jones be at the park? Donovan! DPJ! Donovan, what do you know about Rihanna? This isn't George Washington Park, is it? No, it's in Virginia. I could barbecue there once. Saw Chicago. Steehn, I don't know what to tell you. That's just the name of the park. Fair enough. Chris, you're up. I'm gonna go against the public here. I'm gonna say put another 20 pounds on there, Jimbo. All right, here we go. You know they don't actually do this in the NFL Combine, do you? Once again, Reichel, did you eat my leftover calzone out of the fridge on November 13th, 2022? No. I got you, you goddamn nothing on me! Nothing! Nothing! Nothing at all! I'm ready if you are. All right, guys. That was eye-opening, but I think I have what I need to decide, so I'll let you guys know when I figure it out. Where's Loud? Huh? .424! What? That's a 4.24 40! There's no way you ran a Chris Johnson 40. I'm really fast! 4.24. You know, I just don't think that Josh Allen's really that great. Nobody asked Steehn. I'm just gonna go with an outside hire.
All right, everybody, welcome back. You are watching Once Upon a Time in Las Vegas, the rise of the greatest sports betting show in the world. I'm your host, Scott Steehn, along with my other co-host, Rocky Foré, and a group of 5 people that we introduced earlier. So if you didn't see it, sorry, go back and watch it. You find out who everybody is. So we're going to talk about the actual Super Bowl game itself. Hasn't been a ton of line movement here, kids. Not any extreme moves like we saw, of course, in the Kansas City-Cincinnati game as the favorites actually flipped. Pretty much the Eagles have been a 1.5 point favorite most of the time here. Total 50.5 is pretty much the number that's gone up a little. I believe it opened at 49. Is that right, guys? You see 49.5 as an opener there.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know at that number, I don't know how much late movement we're going to see. We probably see a little bit. It's juiced slightly towards the Eagles at -112. And the total now, I lied. It's now gone to 51. So we are bumped up a little bit from that 50.5 that it's been for most of the time here. So a little bit leaning more on the over as reports come in about Mahomes' ankle and whatnot. So let's start. You know what? We didn't do the order. We didn't do the order in the in the break time. So we'll just go. We'll go to the same order that we introduced you guys. Chiefs, Eagles. Oh, by the way, after we do this, stay tuned because we're all going to break down our 3 favorite props. We're going to do those real fast. We're each going to vote on what we think of that prop, if we like it or if we don't like it. So stay tuned. You guys like props? We got. I'm going to do some quick math here. 21 of them coming up. So don't be touching that dial after we're done capping the Super Bowl. All right. Eagles -1.5, 51. Mason, what you got?
I got the Chiefs money line to start. I believe that they've got the better quarterback and the head coach with more experience. I think Mahomes is going to come in, show that he's been here before, bounce back after their last Super Bowl loss, and allow the Chiefs to pull away. I also see a lot of money coming in on the Eagles. Public is very heavy on Philadelphia, so I'm going to fade them, ride with the Chiefs there. And then with the total, I'm going to take the over. Like I said, I think the Chiefs are going to score consistently throughout. I think the Eagles are going to as well, as they have so many weapons that they're going to be able to run the ball and throw the ball on this defense. It's going to be a high-scoring affair and a good one to watch, so I'm taking the over and the Chiefs.
Very good. Very good. Russell?
This one's really, really tricky, but I think I'm going to lean to the under first of all. I understand that both quarterbacks, when healthy, can really generate a lot of points easily. The question is, I'm concerned about the health for both quarterbacks. Despite the Eagles being here, Hurts really hasn't had to do anything. I think the Chiefs are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Chiefs are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eagles are going to score a lot of points. I think the Eag No offense to Daniel Jones and no offense to Josh Johnson, but he hasn't exactly had to throw the ball much in the second half of their games. And I do think that you're going to see the Eagles really try to establish the run, which should drain up some clock. And Mahomes, we know that he looked, I'd say, pretty good against Cincinnati. He definitely didn't look 100% anywhere near it, but I'm assuming he'll look better because he had about a week and a half, 2 weeks of preparation and rest for this game. But I'm going to lean under with the somewhat injured or compromised quarterbacks. As for the actual spread, I'm on the fence because I think Philly's the better team, but I feel like Mahomes is going to find a way. It's a coin flip game for me. I'll take the best quarterback that I've probably ever seen in terms of talent. I'll lean to Mahomes.
All right, very good. I like how when we came to Reichel, he had that kind of expression, that same countenance you have if you ask him about like a Week 12 Texans-Colts game. Scott, what do you think?
It's a tough one, you know?
Like the fucking line's been out for 9 days. You knew the show was coming. I thought that's a hot take right there, guys.
Just saying, though, you let the matchup marinate. We said these are the two best teams. I don't think that there's one that's significantly better than the other one. It's a tough call.
That's fair. And it very well could come down to a break, mistake, missed opportunity. You know, you never know. But most football games, if you watch them closely, turn on about 4 or 5 pivotal plays. And you'll see how those go, and that's going to pretty much determine how the game goes. All right, so Mason's got over Chiefs. Scott's got under Chiefs. David, plenty of room on the Chiefs bandwagon. You want to hop on board, buddy?
Well, I do think that the Eagles are overall, as Scott said, the better team in this game. But my questions in this one with Jalen Hurts, I think for the Eagles, for them to win this game, it's going to be very important for them to get off to a strong start and be able to run the ball. If the Chiefs fall behind with Patrick Mahomes, I still feel that they could come back. I think that the Chiefs could fall behind 14-3 and still find a way to come back and win this game. If the Eagles fall behind early, I don't have that same confidence. If I have to make a straight up pick, I will tell you guys I'm going to go ahead and lean on the under in the Chiefs, but I'm going to tell you guys what I'm really going to bet on this game. The way I'm going to bet this game, like Scott made that face, because it could really go either way. One thing I've had success with in the Super Bowls in the past, you may not like it, but I think with a line this close in a game that's going to be this tight, I think it's going to be decided by 7 points either way. So what I'm going to do, looking at the total, I'm going to tease this to get over 44 points, and I'm going to take the Chiefs at +8. I'm going to tease 6.5 points. I'm going to take the Chiefs +8 and over 44 is that what I'm going to put my money on. If I just had to play this straight up, I'm going to say Chiefs and under, but I'm going to go ahead and tease this thing, and I think that that's the best way to bet on this game.
Are you finding the Chiefs +2 and 50 somewhere?
No, I saw a +1.5, so I teased 6.5 instead of the 6. I see +1.5 on the Chiefs.
Okay,
and so then the total I was seeing 50.5.
50.5. Yeah, there are some 50.5. So you just did a 6.5 point teaser instead of a 6.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. What's that pay? What do you got to lay on that? 130?
I got it at -120.
Okay.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, it really is. All right, very solid. Christopher, seems to be some Chiefs folks out there and kind of split on the total. What do you got going, buddy? Can you bring yourself to play on the Chiefs?
No, I can't. I'm going to be perfectly honest. You know, as good as Mahomes has been, my big concern is this. I brought it up Saturday on the Just Parlay show. If Kansas City continues to eschew running the ball, they ran the ball 20 times for 42 yards against the Bengals. If you're going to let Mahomes stand back there, and I don't care if he's had 2 weeks off or not, his ankle's still going to be bothering him. This is a Philadelphia team that will kill you in the pass rush game. They had 70 sacks in the regular season. They're going to make Mahomes run for his life. And you have to also take into consideration the Eagles were first in the league in pass defense this year. So as well as Mahomes has done throwing the ball this year, you've got to take into consideration this is a Philadelphia team that has a pretty good defense.
Who's the best quarterback they faced?
Well, they faced Prescott. Let me just look at the rest of their schedule here because I don't remember off the top of my head.
Daniel Jones.
Just to ask, by the way, Prescott went to what?
Kirk Cousins,
40
prime
points?
time.
What, they score 40 points on that Eagles defense?
Yeah, Cousins. You also had Aaron Rodgers. Let's see. Just going down the list. So
Jared Goff.
And
I'm just saying, you mentioned Prescott and they scored 40 points. That's all I'm saying.
They scored 40 because of 4 turnovers.
Still.
Okay. And Rodgers put up 33. So
a lot of those came in garbage time after the game was decided.
He did not put up 33. Jordan Love put up like 14 of those.
Yeah, because the game was 40-19 or something in the fourth quarter, and they pulled Rodgers.
Okay.
All right. I just think that the ability for Philadelphia to be a balanced attack, they can run the ball and throw it. I just think that they're the better team here. I get that Kansas City, if this was Kansas City with Tyreek Hill, it'd be a different story. But I'm not convinced that Valdez-Scantling is going to repeat what he did in the AFC title game. Hardman is hurt. Tony is hurt. You don't know if he's going to play. Smith-Schuster left that game. And then defensively, you don't know what's going to go on with L'Jarius Sneed. I think that Philadelphia is going to win the game. I'll take the Eagles. But I also agree with Reichel that it's going to be more of a drain on the clock, and it's going to end up just under the total. I see it being like 27-23, something like that.
Very good. Loud?
I saw a really interesting number. The chalk on what the halftime lead was going to be on one of the online betting sites that I go look at odds for, easy for me to say, was plus 350 was the lowest price, and the number attached to it was Philadelphia leading by 12 or more at half. That was the lowest price, plus 350. Philadelphia leading by 1-6 was like plus 650. So for some reason, there seems to be a lot of confidence that Eagles are going to be way ahead at halftime. I'm on the Eagles in this game because Kansas City on offense, well, they can throw it. They can't run. And if they get one-dimensional against the Eagles pass rush will kill them. And also, the defense of Kansas City is just not that good. It's middle of the road. It doesn't do anything for me. So you've got one team that can play offense and defense. I think running the ball and defense is the combination that wins championships. And so I'm on the Eagles to win. And I'm actually leaning over. I'm going to be contrarian in this. I think the Eagles get out to a lead and have to hold on. And Kansas City scores maybe 24. Eagles 28, and you get 52, and you go over.
Okay. Running the ball and defense wins championships. And that was true.
I know it's modern times. It's throwing the ball.
And then they started wearing helmets. So
I'm telling you, I think that defense is hellacious, and they overall they just got a better roster than the Chiefs from top to bottom, except quarterback.
Okay.
Oh,
interesting.
Tight end. I'll give Kelsey the tight end.
Slight nod at tight end.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard a lot about the Eagles pass rush. Anybody know who was number 2 in sacks?
It was the Chiefs.
Kansas City.
Yeah, of course. So, I think I don't know that I've been that impressed by the Eagles' offensive line lately. I just don't know. And a lot of it's going to have to come down to how mobile Mahomes is, because we've talked about this before. Mahomes, like Burrow, these guys don't have great speed. They're football quick, football fast, but what they are in the pocket is they're greasy. They start to react to how the rush is coming before it gets there. And I think that's actually what separates a lot of the elite quarterbacks, is they're able to react to the rush before it's a problem. So I do like the fact that the Chiefs are going to be able to handle, to a certain extent, this Eagles pass rush. Now, having 4 guys with double-digit sacks, I don't care what you say, that's impressive. So I will give the Eagles the nod as far as the favors of the pass rush go, but I think it's a lot closer than a lot of people are saying. Having said that, I do think this is a very high quality Eagles team. And for whatever reason, the Chiefs tend to start in the hole in the postseason. They've more often than not with Mahomes, they come back from double digit deficits. much like the Minnesota Vikings record in one-score games this year, I don't think that's sustainable. I think that's a problem against certain teams, and it's certainly a problem against teams that can run the football successfully. So I think for that reason, I'm going to lean towards the Eagles. And I'm going to be honest with you. There's another reason. I have been absolutely stone cold at being able to handicap the Chiefs successfully. So I figure if I take the Eagles, that should almost guarantee a Chiefs victory. So,
Well,
but,
I'm helping you too. I'm helping you too by taking them because I'll jinx myself. So.
Okay, yeah, that's it's very good. It's very good. As far as the rush defense goes, neither one of these teams are outstanding, but Kansas City was actually better against the run than the Eagles, as they gave up just 4.5 yards per carry, while the Eagles gave up 4.7. So at least using that metric, you can say the Chiefs were a little bit better. I'll concede that they may not be better, but I think they're just as good at stopping the run as the Eagles. And I do like the under, and it's mainly because of the way these defenses have been playing in the playoffs, as the Chiefs gave up 40 points to two pretty good offenses there in Jacksonville and Cincinnati, while the Eagles did it even better, giving up just a touchdown each in their two playoff games after holding the Giants to 16 and the Saints 20 before that. So these are two defenses that may not be at the top of the chart as far as elite, but they are playing elite defense right now. Both of them are. So I think there's going to be running. I think there's going to be running the football, and I think they will stay under. I'll take the Eagles laying the 1.5 and the under 51. Rocky,
we've been talking about numbers. I've got one for you. Do you know it, Steen? It is the strength of schedule.
I know.
Do you know what the Eagles are?
Second, were they fourth highest? The Chiefs were 29th, something like that. I know I read it.
The Eagles were 31st. The Chiefs were 16. When was the last time somebody had worse than 31 in the Super Bowl? It was the Patriots in the 28-3 game that they should have lost had Kyle McShannon and ran the ball a single time. It's not going to be close. It's the Chiefs by a mile. Okay. All they're going to do is dink and dunk to Travis Kelce and Juju Smith-Schuster, and the pass rush is going to get tired.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Hot take, Rock. What do you got for the total?
The total? Over.
Over 51.
No. I'm going to say under.
Okay. Is that your final answer, or do you want to say push?
No, I want to go over. I think that the last team who had the ball is going to score.
Rocky says
the last team with the ball is going to win.
Rocky says 2 + 2 equals fish.
It does.
Outstanding.
Wait, so just to ask, so you're going with the over, correct?
I'm going with the over.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be touchdown there, touchdown here, touchdown there, touchdown. Lots of touchdowns. I think that both teams could hit 30 easily.
Is that your final answer? Are you locking in that answer? Is that your final answer, or you're not sure yet?
Locked in. Okay. I got Chiefs 34, Eagles 31.
All right, solid. I guarantee you, both teams hitting 30 would has a nice payoff.
Is that a proppy?
So. Rocky's proppies, the last one of the year.
All right, very good. Okay, there you go, guys. That is everybody's opinion on the game, side and total. If I'm not mistaken, the consensus would be Chiefs. And who had over? Rocky had over. Loud had over. Mason had over. So we're four. David, did you have over?
I said I would lean under if you played straight up, but I'm gonna play over on my teaser.
All right, so we've got 3 and 3 and one lean towards the under, or 4-3. I don't know how you score that. So it's 4-3 both ways, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So, because Chris couldn't bring himself to bet on the Chiefs. No way there. So
no, not a chance.
There
in
you
hell.
go.
That'd be like betting on the Dolphins when Marino was there.
A small consensus towards the Chiefs, and a small consensus towards the under 51. All right, guys, that's it for our Super Bowl prediction. We'll be right back with part 1 of our props. Not just Rocky's proppies, everybody's proppies. Watch this.
Everybody's proppies.
Watch this, laugh your ass off, come back and see us. We'll talk props.
Roger, get down. Terrific. I always love to meet the fan of the year. Who is it this year? A little kid, dad with 9 kids and got cancer. Yeah. No, that has to be a mistake. You're kidding.
We now return to the NFL Awards show brought to you by Burger King Burger Whopper.
And finally, to cap off a great NFL awards show, it's time to meet the NFL Fan of the Year. While all fans are great, the Fan of the Year truly exemplifies what a super fan should be. Passionate, loyal, knowledgeable, and above all, charitable to his fellow man. Another species, ladies and gentlemen, Chicago Bears super fan and NFL Fan of the Year, Mike Mitarsky.
What? You've never seen a talking bear before? Get over yourselves! Thanks to the intro, Roger. Not holy shit! I almost started hibernating in the middle of it. What are you paid by the word? Anyway, this is a tremendous honor. It's not easy to be a super fan of a shitty team like the Bears. Yeah, I see those Texans fans nodding their heads. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's easy to be a Buffalo fan, or a Bengals fan, or even a Chiefs fan. Oh yeah, the Chiefs and their fancy freaking quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. You know, funny story, the Bears could have drafted him in 2017. Instead, we took Mitch Trubisky. You know, Patrick Mahomes Sr. did an interview a couple weeks ago and said his son wanted to be a Bear. Nobody wants to be a Bear, but Mahomes did. And now Mahomes is going to his 3rd Super Bowl, and Mitch is... See? You don't even know, do you? How is that fair? Are you kidding me? Ah, just relax, everybody. Oh, Mike might just need to get his meds adjusted a tiny bit to keep him from going full Revenant. So, thanks for the award. I want to dedicate it to all the little guys in Cub Scout Pack 489, the first Cub Scout pack made up entirely of actual Cubs. Okie dokie, all Mike's out of here. Back to you, Ronnie. Maybe you can close out the night by finally letting us know how you rig all the games. Are the officials in on the take? Is it the players? And are the announcers in on it? Does Ditka know? Tell me Ditka doesn't know! Tell me!
You sure you want to do this? I mean, it's been 4 years since we drafted him. How good could he still be? Have you seen this lineup? How good does he have to be? I see your point. Make it quick. I'm in the middle of a Harry campaign. Kyler! Hey, this is David Forrest, General Manager with the Oakland A's, here with the Special Assistant, Billy Bean. Hi, Kyler. What can I do for you? Kyler, we know you're busy with all that off-season rehab and stuff, so I'll get right to the point. Yeah, I just got done with my run and I'm about to hit the weight room. Kyler, listen. We were just wondering how happy you were with the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know. Okay, I guess. Gonna miss Special K. Man, he's got a PS5 rig in his game room you just wouldn't believe. Right. Well, we were worried about the next guy not being a fit, but you know what would be a great fit for you? Coming back and playing baseball with the Oakland A's. Guys, I'm flattered, but I've already made the NFL major leagues. I don't want to spend 5 years riding buses through the desert before I even get to Oakland, and then I have to live in Oakland. Well, Kyler, just between us, I wouldn't be surprised to see the A's playing a little more east and a little more south. If I were a betting man, I'd say it was a good gamble. Get it? Vegas. But I still don't want to play 5 years in the minors, and I haven't played competitive baseball since 2018. Yeah, and you hit 296 with 10 homers and 10 stolen bases. Son, we don't want you playing minor league baseball. We want you on the big team. Hell, you could hit 220 and probably lead the team. Oh, yeah? What position? What position do you want to play? Who's gonna care? Well, that's really interesting, guys, but I just signed a new contract. I'm supposed to make $36 million next year. Wow, that's a lot of money, Kyler, but how many years is it for? Just that one, then I get $42 million the next. Holy shit, Billy, that's our whole payroll. Hey, Kyler, we're gonna have to call you back. We're getting ready to go through a tunnel. Aren't you guys in an office? No, the office is 10 floors underground. Those are some weird cats. Call up Colin, see what we can get for him. I don't know. New York is considered long distance. I don't think we should spend any more money today. Could always cut Loriano. Great idea.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Once Upon a Time in Las Vegas, The Rise, the greatest sports betting show in the world. As always, I'm your host, Scott Steehn, Rocky Foré, the gang of thousands below me, and we're going to talk props right now. Before we do that, hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to drop us a comment. Don't forget to drop us your favorite play, be it a prop, be it a side, a total, whatever it is. Put it in the comment section. Let us know what you're playing. Check out the Discord, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's very cool. If you like nonstop sports betting, I mean nonstop, 24 hours a day. You like talking about sports betting? Right. Nobody does, but you should stop and at least spend an hour or so there and check it out. A lot of fun. A lot of people trading opinions, all very respectful. Mason runs it, does a nice job.
Don't forget that's your spot to blame Dave Delano when your picks go wrong.
That's right. Oh, that's right. We didn't talk about that in the second take about how probably 10% of the comments are just I've got St. Mary's tonight, and if it loses, I blame David Delano. And it doesn't have to be a pick that he's taken. Just for some reason, he's got the big shoulders. He's the Chicago of cappers. He's got the big shoulders. Everybody just piles their shit right on David Delano. And surprisingly, David doesn't spend a lot of time on the Discord channel. I know that's a shocking development because you want to find out that you're responsible for every bet that loses and to just talk to everybody in real time about how thrilled you are to.
Yeah, David, it's your fault Penn State lost yesterday.
Man.
Right.
I'm blaming you.
Okay, so, but other than that, and if
it was my fault.
If you have a bet that it was a terrible play and you had no shot to win it, but you want to blame somebody else, Discord, that's the place to be. David Delano, that's DAVID DELAN.
And his Twitter handle is insert here.
And get sports strong.
That's right.
Some people already are familiar with it.
Do follow us on sports. Do follow us on Twitter. I know King's on there, Rocky's on there, Mason's on there, Scott's on there. David is on there. Loud, you got your Twitter rocking and rolling? You big tweeter?
Occasionally. I'm on Discord quite a bit, but
excellent.
Twitter occasionally, yes.
All right, he's not sowing Discord; he's just there. So very, very good. All right, we're going to talk about props. I'm going to lead off, kids, and I'm going to lead off with. I noticed a couple of my props are pretty juicy here. I'm just going to tell you that. Often happens with props. Still think we're catching good number here. I'm going to go with Kenneth Gainwell. He's got Gainwell right in the name. What could possibly go wrong? Over a 5.5 carries. This is a guy that the Eagles have been leaning on more and more, and they've been leaning on him a lot in the playoffs as he's racked up 26 carries over the last 2 weeks, 14 and 12. I think they're going to keep feeding him the football. That's why it's juicy, but I still think at 4.5, we're catching a hell of a good number there. I'll take Kenneth Gainwell over 4.5 carries. And the way we're going to do this, we're going to let everybody an opportunity to vote. We were going to get everybody like really fancy paddles that said yes, no, agree, disagree, whatever. It'd be a 4-sided paddle, so it wasn't one of those. But Rocky did not order those, and he said we did not have the money. It was going to be well over $14 for everybody to have a paddle, so we can't throw that kind of cash around.
That's because he spent it all at bingo.
That's right. He blew all the bingo money buying the extra cards. So instead, we're going to do thumbs up for yes, thumbs down for no. And if you needed that explanation, I can't believe you're watching this show. Okay, so Kenneth Gainwell over 4.5 carries. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, give me some thumbs.
Was it 4.5 or 5.5? Because I thought you said 5.5 at first.
Okay, everybody agrees with Kenneth Gainwell. I am a damn genius. All right, so here's kind of a one of those unique props that you kind of have to do some digging. I'll be honest. When I first saw this prop, I figured I was going to play it the other way, and I'm not. It's the first score to occur more than 6 minutes into the game at minus 147. Surprisingly, the Super Bowls, especially lately, have been starting slowly as far as scoring goes. This has happened just once in the last 9 Super Bowls, and that was the bad snap over Peyton Manning's head that ended up going for a safety. The first real score in that game did not occur until about 4 minutes left. Yes, Loud?
That would have been such the odds on having a prop bet first score safety would be huge.
Usually runs somewhere around what? Plus 1,500, something like that?
That's your first. I think he means first actual play, not the first method of.
Oh, first play?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No,
first play.
Actually, what I'm saying, first score being a safety.
I would think for 15, 1,800, something like that.
That's usually 15
I thought
to
it
1.
plus 2,000.
I mean, you might have been able to find that at 2,000, but yeah, it's still a very nice payoff. So How many people agree with me about longer than 6 minutes into the game, we will see the first score? Rocky says no, yes.
I'll go
no.
halfway, but mostly yes.
Okay. All right. So we've got
There you
literally
go.
3 and 3. All right. Very good. And Scott, you're kind of I guess we should put, if you put your hand out. Yeah.
I got a 75% thumbs up.
Okay. So Scott's thumb is leaning.
Yeah.
Is leaning yes on that one. All right. And finally, I've got
That your
combined
final answer?
sacks. Yeah. You want to change it? You want to change it 3 more times or no?
Now locked in my
So my final prop is a little less juicy. By the way, yeah, I think that was minus 147. I think I told you guys that. I'm going to take combined sacks over 5.5 at minus 105. Again, we talked about these two teams leading the league in sacks. Neither offensive line is particularly good at taking care of their quarterback. Both of the quarterbacks are very mobile. We'll cut down on the sack opportunities, but this is a Kansas City Chiefs defense that lived in the backfield. Yes, I know this is the offensive line of the Eagles is a little healthier, but I still think there's going to be opportunities. I think one of these teams will fall behind and consequently have to throw the ball more opportunities for sacks. I'll take the over 5.5 at minus 105. Opinion on that one, gentlemen? Yes, David?
I think we're going to see exactly 5 sacks.
All right.
Ooh.
There you go. So we're 5-1 as David points to left field and calls his shot. Very good. Very good. Okay. So those are my 3 props. Next up on the list, Mr. King. Chris King, what you got, buddy?
I'm going to start with Isaiah Pacheco going over 69.5 combined receiving and rushing yards. You look at how valuable he was. He didn't run well last week. Only finished with 26 yards on the ground, but he was targeted 6 times and caught 5 of those balls for 59 yards. He's clearly the number 1 back now because Jerick McKinnon has seemingly disappeared now that the playoffs have started. Where have you gone, Jerick McKinnon? 4 carries for a yard last week. It just makes Pacheco that much more valuable. He showed that he can be a valuable safety valve. I think it's going to probably end up somewhere around 80 or 85 total yards in this game to keep.
Let me ask you this. How many times did you want to run him? He's averaging a quarter of a yard a carry.
I just figured he'd be more of a factor in the passing game. They didn't really throw to him last week either.
All right, you're right. All right.
So
what's the odds on that?
It's at minus 115.
Okay. Over 69.5. Pacheco, vote on that. Here we go. Rock says no. Scott says no. Delano's no. What were you at, Loud?
Yes.
You were a yes. All right. So not huge fans. I liked it. Loud liked it, but not a lot of other support there. Chris, sorry, buddy.
I can live with it.
I'm just not impressed with Kansas City's run
I
blocking.
mean, it doesn't matter what we think. Whether or not sorry is going to be whether or not he cashes.
Very true.
Well, and if it's wrong, we'll blame you, David.
There you go.
I
already got my built-in scapegoat.
There you
I
go.
was thumbs down. So if you like that play and you ate off of it because of me,
and again, I have to say,
this
is another one of those tropes that you hear. Kansas City can't run the football. Blah blah blah. Guess what? 12th in the league in rushing this year.
And in this case, he doesn't even have to run the ball because, like I said, you could dump it off to him because it's combined. So,
yeah, I think you're going to see 40 plus passing and 30 plus running. I think it easily makes that number.
And see, now the good thing is if it hits and David said no, then you can go, I can't believe that David said no on that on Discord. So it just keeps going.
All right, fair. What's next, bud?
After that, I've got Mahomes' first rush attempt to go for more than 3.5 yards. We know he's not going to sneak the ball. I think that everybody learned that after that game against Denver a couple of years ago when they tried to rip his leg off.
Yep.
So I think he's going to be running. He's going to have to get out of the pocket, kind of like we saw at the end of the game against Cincinnati. I can see him, stumbling for a 6 or 7 yard gain out of that, just to try and avoid Hargreave and Fletcher Cox and Graham and especially Reddick. So he's not going to, like I said, he's not going to end up diving on a 3rd and 1. So I think he's going to end up ending up over this number.
Yeah. Vote. All right, very popular. That's a clean sweep, buddy. I think we all agree.
And then finally, I've got Jalen Hurts going for over 31.5 pass attempts. I just think that especially with things being so cloudy with Snead, you've got McDuffie and who's the other corner?
Well, they're going to run Williams through there.
Williams just seems to be the guy that you put out there because you don't have anybody else, because he always seems to get burned on a big play.
Yeah, he got a little redemption last week, but yeah, he's not the main guy that you want to see out there. Snead with Snead not being able to play, if that comes to pass, is going to be a huge problem. The other one is
Cook, right? Is Cook a corner?
Yeah, Cook generally plays the nickel. He's more of a safety type, but they kind of him slide last week. So Cook's going to be out there, and Williams is going to be out there, and you'll see Jalen Watson as well, another rookie. So
yeah, I think that the Eagles are going to throw the ball early. You've got Smith, you've got AJ Brown, you've got Goddard. I'm not going to mention Quez Watkins because I don't consider him a big threat in the passing game. But with those three guys, you've got an advantage probably in all three against the Kansas City defenders. I think they want to establish the pass early so it can set up the run. And if this ends up being a higher scoring game than I anticipated, since I said it was going to stay under, I think Hurts is going to have to throw the ball. He didn't have to do it in the first two rounds of the playoffs. He might have to do it here. That's at -125 at over 31.5 attempts.
All right. Hurts over 31.5. Let's vote it. Ooh.
Good. I'm blaming. Now I can blame Delano again.
No, it's only if they lose.
That is that's a lone wolf. Wow. Ooh, that's our first lone wolf, Chris.
I can live with it.
Good luck, buddy. All right. Very good.
I just have too many questions about the shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we all kind of see, I think everybody that has the under thinks that there's going to be a lot of running, a lot of running the football there on both sides. All right. So let's go to probably the guy that did more interesting props than anyone else, especially the last one. It's David Delano. David, tell us about your first prop there, sir.
Well, my first prop, I was a little conflicted when you had the overall sacks at 5.5 because we mentioned already these are the top two teams as far as getting sacks on defense. But I do see the Chiefs obviously throwing the ball more than the Eagles in this game. So I think that there are going to be more opportunities for that Eagles front to get some sacks. So it's a little juicy, but I like the Eagles over 2.5 sacks. It is -140, but Eagles average over 4 sacks a game. Chiefs 5th in pass attempts per game. Chiefs allowed 3 sacks against the Bengals. I do like over 2.5 sacks for the Eagles in this game.
Okay. All right. Let's vote on the Eagles over 2.5. Here we go. Rocky couldn't wait. Yep. Yeah. I kind of expected that after the reaction to my 5.5. So yeah, I think that's a solid play right there for sure. All right, what you got next, bud?
Well, didn't want to overthink this too much. The Chiefs, either way, whether they win or lose, they're going to Mahomes is going to have to dial up his boy Travis Kelce. If the Chiefs win this game, they're not going to win this game without a big game from Travis Kelce. If they lose this game, even if they get blown out, they play from behind, it's the Super Bowl. You're never going to take your foot off the gas or stop trying. So they're going to have to go to Travis Kelce. Over the last 6 games, including the playoffs, he's getting targeted 10 times a game. He's reeling in 83% of those catches. He has gone over 80 yards 10 different times this season, including the playoffs. I'm going to go over 79.5 for Travis Kelce. I feel like by game time, I think that this is going to be closer to 84 yards. But for right now, Travis Kelce over 79.5 receiving yards at -110.
All right. Let's vote on 87 over 79.5. Two yeses and 4 no's, buddy. I would be more excited about taking a Kelce target prop or a catches prop because they've done a good job of keeping him from getting and turning and going up the field. So I that's the only thing I worry about. That I think he's going to get plenty of catches. I think he's going to get plenty of opportunities. I just wonder if they're going to let him be able to break tackles and get behind him. So
yeah, you look at his yards per target lately. It was only 4.3 against Denver and 5.43 against the Raiders, and then even against Jacksonville. Yeah, he caught 14 passes, but they were only for 98 yards, and he was targeted 17 times. So, I mean, there'd be a lot of dink and dunks.
Yes, you probably feel like he's going to need to get at least 10 catches to get over in this game.
Yeah. And in fairness, you just really got to break one. When you get somebody who's going to have multiple catches, you can get one 30, 35-yarder, you're home for, almost certainly with being able to get the other yardage.
Yeah, with all the Chiefs' injuries to the wide receiver core, I also expect the Eagles to basically shadow him the entire game. So I'm just expecting either bracket coverage or some type of let anybody but Kelsey beat us type of mentality.
They've been mugging him all year, man.
Yep.
Absolutely mugging him, especially lately.
Make Valdez Scantling play like he did last week.
All right. Now, for Dave's next prop, I have a lot of questions about this one. And I also want to know what kind of research he did. David, what's your next prop?
Well, my next prop, I just feel like with Rihanna, this is going to be a big deal with her coming out for the Super Bowl performance. I believe she dropped her last album in 2016. So many people want to see her perform after now that she's a mother. And I think that she's definitely going to put on a show and show us a little something. Now, I was looking and for her to expose her cleavage, it's minus 400. So I think that they think that that's definitely going to happen. So I found another pick where there's better value. It's still a little juicy, but minus 160. I think that she's going to give us a little butt cheek. Minus 160 for Rihanna to expose a butt cheek is my prop during her performance.
Now, before I vote, what is defined as a butt cheek? Is it just short shorts? How much cheek do we have to see here?
It said
nobody knows.
That's a good question. I'm thinking we just got to just see like a little bit, like maybe the bottom of the booty meat. I'm thinking we're going to get some of that, right?
So a cheek sneak peek would be fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? Okay. I'm ready to vote. Rihanna.
We need Dean Blandino to rule on this.
Rihanna shows a cheek at minus 160. Guys?
I'm with David Delano.
I'm familiar. I know the book that the props on. They're pretty lenient on this stuff, so I'm going to go with yes.
I'll just go with what Rachel says since he knows the book.
It's going to be a controversy. It's always subjective when you have to try to determine if this counts or not. This particular book usually grades it in favor of the public, so I'll go with yes.
I simply voted yes because if they're putting 160 as a price on that, somebody knows something.
Exactly.
You're not seeing it. You would look at it, you go, well, that's going to be like plus 400. No. All right. Our new, one of our newer, human beings to the planet, because at least to compare
Planet Earth.
Yeah. One of the newest addition to Planet Earth, at least as far as this group goes. It's Mason Foles. Mason, you've got some proppies. Nothing. I'm just going to say it. Nothing nearly as interesting as what we just talked about. But they are yours. Let's talk about them.
I was just going to say, I don't know if I can follow up that pick. It's a pretty money one, but
it is
I've got
juicy.
One that
yeah. Also what her pants say across the back.
But this prop, last year I started researching a little bit more. I was watching the Pat McAfee show. He's an old punter. He knows a lot about the football. He said that they pumped that first initial football up to a crazy level of amount of air, so it's really hard to kick. So the opening kickoff, I have no touchback at plus 140. It has to be returned. So they kick it off, and then in his podcast, he said that they take that ball immediately after the kickoff, send it to Canton. So it's only used that one play. It's a tough ball. Trusting in him in this one. So I'm taking no touchback with the opening kickoff. That's number one.
Dick move, NFL. What the hell?
Silent killer.
Plus 140, huh? Well, Butker has been really hit and miss on his kickoffs. But of course it was cold last game.
Isn't some of it coverage based though? I thought Reed doesn't mind kicking it short to actually get some coverage guys down.
They do experiment with that on occasion. That wasn't the case against Cincinnati. He just couldn't get it there. But if you watch his field goal, that didn't have much to spare either. So
Well, it's like when Paul McGuire did the Bills-Raiders game when it was 0 degrees, and he came out there and said, it's like kicking a brick, and that's basically what it is in that kind of weather, like it was in Kansas City.
you know what? All right, let's go ahead and vote. You guys ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, vote.
It's plus 140. I'm not going to go against the value there.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. And Loud is our lone dissenter. Loud, you think they're just going to blast that sucker through the pipes, huh?
Yeah, it's going to go right out of the end zone.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I have to say I haven't done the research on the Philadelphia place kicker. I don't know what his touchback percentage is. Mason, do you have that number in front of you?
I don't have that number. I'm really leaning on the whole
Pat McAfee.
That football's just rock solid, and it's not going to get there.
Elliott's kickoff or touchback percentage was 69.2.
When the first one blasts through the back of the end zone, you go to Discord, you're going to say, I should blame Pat McAfee for this. But the guy that's really most responsible,
Exactly.
Milano. Yeah, no question about it.
Milano told me to take it.
By the way,
Exactly.
Steehn, question: what's the name of the Eagles kicker?
Elliott.
Elliott. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's your official thing. You always do it.
Elliott.
Yeah,
As a Chiefs fan, I refuse to hold the name of Elliott as place kicker in my head.
It's fair.
So I will forever forget his name. All right, Mason. Very good. What do you got for numero dos?
For the second one, I'm going to fade the public again here. I know everyone's looking at the Eagles percentage-wise on the public. I'm going to take Kansas City to score first at minus 110, as I think Mahomes is going to get the ball. He's going to march down the field, and he's going to shock the nation, put a little fear in the hearts of the country. So they're all going to be betting on the Eagles, and the Chiefs are going to take the first 7-0 lead.
Okay. So it's really all right. You guys ready to vote? All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's vote.
The plays are all scripted though, so we know Reed usually does well in the first drive, but in Super Bowls not so much. So I'm on the fence.
Rocky's a fan. David and Loud and Chris are not. Scott and I are both on the fence. We think it's 110 is the right price for that. And
I don't hate it. I think a lot of it just depends who gets the ball.
Yeah, because Kansas City might not get the ball first, and Philadelphia could score. So
might as well just be betting on the coin flip. All right, Mason, what's your next prop?
Well, don't get ahead of yourself, Steehn. I went out on a limb with this last one. I got a little crazy. I'm taking tails at plus 100 in the coin flip.
It's the coin flip, everybody. That's right. That's right. I'm sorry. I set the kid up. I'm sorry, everybody. He didn't deserve that. I'm sorry I set him up. But I am interested in the plus 100. We talked about that before the show because usually you'll see like minus 103. Well, you used to see like minus 110.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Finally, people went, no, I can't do it. So then you start seeing like minus 102, minus 103. This may be the first time I've ever seen even money on the coin flip.
Yes, I found this on DraftKings as well. So that's where you got to go look for this if you're looking to get it at plus 100. But the only research I could find, tails is at 30, heads is at 26 in the last 56 Super Bowls. So tails does have a slight advantage. It's about a 50-50 shot if I had to guess. Though.
According to my research, tails never fails. So there you go.
Okay. Reichel was actually bragging before the show that he nailed the coin toss last year.
I did. I was all over heads last year.
We had to wait to start the show while he took a fucking victory lap around his apartment. Yes, Loud?
If you want to see some epic coin flipping, go see a production of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. And there's a whole dissertation on how the coin can't always come up heads, but it does.
There's a dissertation?
So it out there.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Rachel's going to use that for next season. He's going to talk about how you read that.
So just in case you weren't quite bored enough by theater, go to see one where they do a dissertation. So very good.
On flipping coins, no less.
It's it's more of a conversation.
Okay.
They realize they're dead because the coin can't in real life keep coming up heads over and over and over again.
There you go. Hard to argue with.
In movie Inception, the thing never lands. So I guess that's kind of the same idea.
Spoiler.
That's not even a spoiler. That's literally just in the first 20 minutes.
Let's vote on the coin toss. Now, don't give away your pick because I know this is going to be a premium for everybody. So just say whether you like this prop or not. 1, 2, 3, vote.
50-50.
Oh, no. 50-50.
No,
Rocky
50-50.
is a yes?
Yeah.
I'm also a yes. Man, if you're going to give me even money for an even money proposition, I don't know how many of you have gambled in a casino before. That's a good deal. Even money on a 50-50 chance it's the best fucking deal you're going to get anywhere all weekend, yes.
If I'm going down, I'm falling on the sword of heads.
What's the odds of that?
Oh my God, you have huge balls to put out a coin flip pick, knowing people are going to roast you. Delano said it was going to be heads. Damn it,
heads is due here. Heads is due.
Okay, all right. Well,
by the way, just to be clear, the coin lands heads 92 times in a row in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. The odds of which are 1 in 5 octillion. So just throwing it out there.
All right. Well, I can't follow that. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with, you know how there's some guys that haven't told you their props yet? Yeah, they're going to do that right after this break. So stay tuned, you mooks. We'll be right back after this.
Ahem. Now, all of you know that we're doing things a little differently here at the Pro Bowl this year because of a lot of complaints about the lack of effort and the fact that we're making athletes who just spent 17 weeks putting their bodies on the line for American entertainment. So, thus begins the NFL's first ever Pro Bowl talent show! I'm not the world's most physical QB, but when Winston went down with a broken spine, oh my Nola. No.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I didn't write back, and neither should you.
It's called the gritty. But that was my talent.
Hi, my name is Alan Lazard, and I'm gonna burp the ABCs. For my talent, I'm gonna spend the next 10 minutes wasting everybody's time trying to catch a football like a 13-year-old at a hotel pool. You put one finger in one side, and then you put your other finger in the other side, and when you try to pull them out, you get stuck. And then to get out, you take one, you push them.
Mike's was better. It was my thing. Don't boo me.
Mike was way better
It's
at that.
So when I say the word hot air balloon, my lovely guest here is gonna snap into hypnosis and do anything that I say. Hot air balloon. One time, I was perfect. Another time, not at all.
360.
Oh no. Pro Bowl Nation, let's talent. I'm Trevor Lawrence, quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and my talent is finding a hearty meal on a budget. That's why I, Trevor Lawrence, eat Subway.
Hey, wait a second, isn't that Russell Wilson?
No,
Hey,
it's not.
that's Russell Wilson disguising himself as Trevor Lawrence.
God damn it.
Man,
I'll
you
be
a
back
fraud.
next season.
There is a house in New Orleans. It's called the Rising Sun. That's referencing my hair. And it's...
Man, I don't even know why I'm here. I'm going to hold my breath for as long as I can. No, like seriously, can someone tell me why I'm here? Russ, you feel that you are worth more than what you're gonna get.
I am worth a lot more than I am.
You want to pack everything up and move to New York.
I want to go to New York.
Play with the Jets, maybe.
Be on the Jets. Wait, what?
No, I don't. First, Kyle will prepare the petri dishes. Then, Kyle will grab his tools. And then, Kyle will split an atom. We're going back to the old format.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is the last segment of the year for Once Upon a Time in Las Vegas. Appreciate you guys hanging with us. We knew it was going to be a long show. Wanted to have some fun. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Hope you're getting some good information. And let's just get back to the props, shall we? Got 3 more sets to go, and we're going to start with Loud Esmond. Loud, what you got?
First one. I'm everybody knows I'm all over Philadelphia in this game, and I think Jalen Hurts is the most important player on that team. And I'm going Philly to score the first TD plus 150.
What?
Plus 150.
That's what I had. I'm sorry.
Right. Do you mean the first method of score is Philly touchdown?
You have Hurts anytime TD at plus 150?
No, Hurts anytime TD is plus 110.
Okay, so Philly first TD is how much?
I had it at plus 150.
What book is that, buddy? I think we all need to run there.
I think he's trying to say, like, including field goals, like first method of score, Eagles touchdowns.
Correct.
Plus 150.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I will accept that. I will accept that answer. All right.
Thank you for Scott. Like I said, I have bottles of whiskey older than you, but thank you for translating. I wasn't making any sense.
Okay. All right. So plus 150.
So what Scott said.
Method of first score to be an Eagles TD.
After further review, go with what Scott said.
All right. Very good. Let's vote on first method of score at plus 150 for the Phillies TD. Everybody, 1, 2, 3, vote.
I interpreted it, but I still didn't like the play. But
I'm not going to vote for the Phillies to score a touchdown first, but you know.
Well, I said
I let it slide.
Baseball season's coming, man.
I couldn't tell if you said Philly or Phillies with the apostrophe in there, so I let it
Philly.
slide.
Philadelphia. Yeah, there you go.
Man, you guys are all over there like cheese whiz on a Philly cheesesteak. David, why do you like that play?
I think at plus 50, plus 150, I think it's a pretty good prop there. I do.
Okay. Solid breakdown, buddy. Appreciate it. They don't call me the best capper in the business for nothing, everybody. You know what? I like it. I think it's good value. All right, we wouldn't play it. All right, fair. That's fair. Okay. And, and I will say this. One of the reasons I don't like it is researching the first score or when that occurred. I noticed one thing, a trend that really stood out. Most times the first score is a field goal.
Yeah. A field goal,
so
right?
But that's why you're getting to plus 150. So all right, that's solid. Well, Loud, I think I spoiled your next one.
You got the second one, which is Jalen Hurts anytime TD plus 110. Hurts has got to score a touchdown during the game plus 110.
Okay.
And he has to run that in, right?
Or catch, technically, but passing touchdowns don't count.
Right. He's got to run. I'm thinking, hey, I'll just throw it out there. I think Jalen Hurts is going to run in a scoring TD.
Yeah. He's got to be the guy with the ball in the end zone. That's it.
Right.
Okay. So receiving touchdown, if they ran a Philly special.
Run a Philly special to him that counts.
My God, if the Chiefs get beat by the Philly special by Philly again in the Super Bowl, I may have to just change teams. So, all right. Jalen Hurts, anytime score plus 110. 1, 2, 3, vote.
He did lead the team in rushing touchdowns.
I like the value of plus money, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had like 30.
And they run the unstoppable QB sneak. So.
Yes.
David, why don't I like this play? No, I'm kidding. All right. I don't know.
Don't bet your fandom.
What's that?
No.
Oh, God. No. You already took the Eagles. I mean, come on.
I know. Put it out there. And then the final prop for me, the aforementioned first score kicker, either kicker as the first method of scoring, as Scott would put it. I saw that at plus 450. So I'm going to take the first score also. I'm hedging myself, basically.
That's what I was making sure there. So you automatically lose one of your two.
Correct.
One of your three props.
Correct.
So you took each. I got you. You took each individual kicker at plus 450.
And if Mason's bet pans out where Kansas City scores a touchdown first, you're screwed on both of them.
Yeah, that's
right.
Kansas
If City scores a touchdown first, I'm screwed on both of them.
Or a safety.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on, Jason Kelce. Put that first snap over his head, baby. Oh man. All right. Very good, Loud. All right. Let's vote on the each. Well, we'll lump it into one. Each individual kicker at plus 450 to score the first score. We could do this too, but no. It's all right. Yeah.
I like plus 450 on both
Mason,
sides.
everybody's going to want to know your vote. What's your vote,
Mason.
man?
Yeah, there you go. Say what I say to everybody in their 20s. Get off your phone.
Sending the call for the old laptop charger. When you see low battery pop up in the top right screen, it's usually not good.
No, No.
Just immediately send a text. Hey, throw that down the stairs as fast as you can.
My God, if we have to start this show over again, I think everybody's
Exactly.
coming to your
That
house.
was my
Long knives. Okay. Raichel, I know you always have interesting props. Why don't you tell us what some of those are?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with 3 player props. I'm going to go with Kenneth Gainwell over 19.5 rushing yards at -115. I was going to do carries, but Steehn kind of stole my thunder, the luxury of him going first. Same idea, though. I think Gainwell's been very good lately, and I think that this number's too low. He's had at least 35 rushing yards in each of the last 3 games. He's had at least 12 carries in each of the last 2 games. And simply put, the Eagles aren't afraid to rotate running backs. And I think that for a guy that's been effective and he's gotten a decent amount of run lately, 19.5 seems very low to me. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, I think that's I don't want to give away my vote, but I think that's a ridiculously low number. So, all right, let's bet on Mr. Gainwell to get 20 or more yards. Yes. Chris?
My only concern is if Sanders ends up monopolizing the carries because Gainwell got so many because both those games were blowouts.
That's the weird part, because Sanders was named a Pro Bowler, and then he somehow reverted back to being in a committee. I don't know how that worked itself out, but they just stopped using him. They kind of split it evenly. Sanders usually around like 40% for the snaps.
Well, Chris, if you had questions about that one, you're really going to have questions about this one. Scott, what's your next prop?
So I just mentioned the rushing yards for Gainwell, and I figured I might as well go down even further in the depth chart. I'm going to go with Boston Scott over 7.5 rushing yards. It's 7.5, and it's at -125. He's had at least 21 rushing yards in each of the last 3 games. He's had at least 6 carries in each of the last 3 games, and has been on the field for at least 30% of the offensive snaps in 3 of the last 4 games. 30% is not much in the grand scheme of things, unless your rushing yard total is 7.5 for a prop. I'm taking the over. If he gets 3 carries, maybe even 1 carry, and he breaks it, but I think 7.5 is way too low for a guy that's gone over pretty regularly lately. I'm taking the over 7.5.
Okay, let's vote on that. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. Chris is a push. Dave and I don't like it, and the other 3 are fan.
I'm just thinking those
I
other
would
games.
have changed the Scott touchdown myself.
Yeah,
Yes.
those other games weren't close. I don't know if they're going to mess around.
Yeah, I think speaking of garbage time, I think that's the guy that's going to be impacted the most over what he's had lately.
I think you're right, just based on where the number is. I'm just hoping it doesn't, revert that much to the mean.
That's fair.
If you give me 3 carries and 9 yards, it's a good day for me. So
yeah, absolutely, it is. All right, buddy, and we've seen some sack props so far, and you've got another one. What do you got?
Yeah, so this one's going to sound a bit risky because it's one individual player, but this number is way too low based on how he's done for the past, I don't even know, 3-4 months. It's going to be Chris Jones. I'm going to take him over a quarter of a sack at -135. So if he splits a sack, you still win. But he's had at least 1 full sack in 5 of the last 6 games he's played in. He's had at least half a sack in 11 of his last 13 games. And Hurts has been sacked multiple times in 12 of his 17 games this season. So I know it sounds a bit scary taking a D tackle to record a quarter of a sack, but when you look at the numbers, Jones has been so damn good, and I just think that this number is a little bit too low. Give me the over a quarter sack there on Jones at -135.
All right, very good. Let's vote on Mr. Jones over a quarter of a sack. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, vote. No for Delano, no for Chris, yes for everybody else. All right, very good. Loud, how come? Or no, you Loud voted yes. You voted yes. Chris, how come?
I voted yes.
Why not?
I just don't know. I think they're going to double and triple team him and force Karlaftis and Frank Clark to show up. The other interesting stat, before last week, Jones had no playoff sacks in his career.
Absolutely.
He broke the seal, so I'm kind of relying on it for this game.
One of the more interesting props I saw was for Karlaftis, Clark, and Jones to all have a sack, and I think plus 1,800 was that bet.
Wow.
So.
I think I'd like it if it was plus money. It's set to -135, just like Chris said.
Yeah, that's fair. You laying a minus price on a D tackle.
You can get the full sack at plus money. I just chose the quarter because you never know how they're going to grade it with half sacks, and they occasionally just share it amongst teammates.
That's the European line right there, isn't it? A quarter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very good.
Half sacks
is that it for
sad
you?
sacks.
You got one more?
It's a what is it? A Royale with cheese, not a quarter.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right. All right, and now the moment you've all been waiting for. I'm not gonna lie, probably my 3 favorite props that we've seen of today. Well, no.
The Rihanna one's pretty tough to beat.
I had to put that one in there. But Rocky, what do you got here?
The Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl. If they get down to the goal line and it is 4th and goal, legally they have to run the Philly special. That's why I got at plus 2,000 any non-quarterback to throw a touchdown. Not only are the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. Coached by who? Andy. I love a good trick play read. I like the odds there.
All right, now, let's go ahead and vote on that one first.
Well, Steehn, I need confirmation. Dontari Poe is not on the team anymore, correct?
Dontari Poe is not. Okay. There will be no joke pass from Dontari Poe.
Just making sure. Okay,
that will not happen. So. All right, you guys ready to vote? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
I think 2,000 is actually horrible odds, if I'm being honest with you, because everybody sees it coming now. It's not surprising.
If it was a little higher, if
it
was 4,000 or something, then you know.
Yeah, I think. I have a problem with the price. So
I would take it if the Niners were in the game because McCaffrey can actually throw a little bit, but
Well, that was certainly a nice pass he completed last week. Oh wait.
It was a good throw.
He completed to the turf.
He threw the ball further than Purdy or Johnson the entire game on that one play.
Well, that's true. Although Purdy's arm was hanging out by just the ligaments attached, so that wasn't.
You said that was either team, or that was just.
It's just in general. It's either team.
Either team. Yeah,
I definitely don't see the Chiefs letting anybody other than Mahomes.
What do you think those true odds should be, though?
I guarantee you, if they're up, if it's a blowout, the Chiefs have a blowout. You could see it. I guarantee you they've got a couple plays with Kelsey throwing.
It's also a touchdown pass, so if even you run a trick play, you have to actually score on the play. I feel like that should be closer to like 40 to 1 or 50 to 1. Like the Philly special completely murdered those odds for the next, decade and a half?
Yeah, so far. All right. Well, folks, if you loved that one, you're going to really like this one. Rocky, what's next?
Brothers are playing against brothers in the Super Bowl. Jason and Travis against each other. And what better for the world would be if both of them scored a touchdown? So I've got Jason and Travis Kelce scoring a touchdown plus 15,000. I like it.
So in betting shorthand, that's 150 to 1 in case the plus 15,000 starts throwing you. 151. And Rocky, I know you probably did some research on this. How many lifetime touchdowns does Jason Kelce have?
Actually, forget about Jason Kelce. How many ever centers have scored a touchdown besides like a fumble recovery in the end zone? How are you supposed to get the ball to a center?
Fumblerooski, buddy.
But that's usually the guard that's pulling.
Yeah, I know. It's usually the guard.
The center's the one putting the ball on the floor, so we can't even get the Fumblerooski.
What, you just gonna rip everybody apart for no reason?
No, I'm just wondering. Like, has a center ever scored besides like maybe a fumble recovery touchdown?
Yes.
How?
I don't know when, but I'm sure.
I think the last time was when Saturday fell on a fumble in the AFC title game back in 2006.
Then that's a fumble recovery. Like,
right.
The center's not even eligible to catch a pass.
We joke about that, but that would count as a Jason Kelce touchdown.
I'm saying that's the only way he can get one. I don't know how else he's supposed to get the ball.
Unless they put him in the back.
You'd have to put it in the backup center and split him out as a tight end or something.
He's not eligible at center for a passing play, so I don't know.
But I did see an interesting discussion on Facebook of whether Travis Kelce or Jason Kelce was better looking, and I got to tell you, the women were split. So just throwing it out.
Travis Kelce just looks exactly like Jonas Valanciunas, but not enough people realize it. They're the same guy.
Bless you.
All right, let's vote on the Kelce brothers, everybody, at 150 to 1, both Jason and Travis to record a touchdown. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
That's a
It
that's
depends
a
on your
pity
minimum.
thumbs up, Steehn.
If your book will let you put $1 on it, I think it's. But if you have to make like a minimum of a $15 or $25,
Can you imagine if Jason Kelsey actually scores a touchdown and Travis lets you down, you'll lose anyway? That's a disaster.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, you got to hedge your bet. You got to take Jason Kelsey anytime.
I'm just saying the Jason Kelsey anytime touchdown without Travis should probably be like 300 to 1 on its own because that implies a center scoring a touchdown. So
yeah, I think if you actually ran the numbers on that, how many games are played and how many games centers score in, 150 to 1 is just a terrible.
I think it's only a fumble recovery though. Like I don't know why a center would ever have a rushing carry for a touchdown.
Yeah,
It's also gone up. Since I wrote this 3 hours ago or whatever, it's now at plus 20,000.
It should be plus like 30,000 or more. So
all right, there you go. Scott, any truth to you're just such a contrarian. Any truth to rumor that the losing coach should be fired in this game?
No, I think both coaches have done enough to secure their job. We'll see what happens with the coordinators. They're going to be gone, but it's because they're going to be getting jobs elsewhere, probably head coaching jobs. That's kind of one thing that surprised me, though. You surprised that many teams didn't wait till the end of the Super Bowl to like interview all the coordinators?
I'm still not a fan of being able to. I'm still not a fan of interviewing guys before or while the postseason's going on.
Yeah, but they interviewed like DeMeco Ryans and like that has happened in the past. I'm kind of surprised Bieniemy or any of Philly's coordinators didn't get interviews, or they already announced the hirings of guys before the Super Bowl ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. And Rocky, you got one more. It's going to be the last bet of the season for the show. Make it a good one.
I got one more. 3 of the last 4 years, the Gatorade has been blue. When I looked this morning, blue was at plus 340, making it I think it was the second best odds.
Do you remember what the lowest was?
I might be wrong there.
Red.
I think it was
red.
Yeah, red. So I think that is a great pick. Blue's on a hot streak. And it doesn't match either team, which I read that only 3 times since they've been doing the Gatorade bath that it's ever matched the color scheme of the winning team.
So you're saying red is fool's gold.
Red is fool's gold, as well as green.
Okay.
Which they paired yellow and green together. So, and
blue,
I had one other note.
Blue was a little more towards the Rams last year, though.
Blue is also tied. Oh yeah, I said it is true. Oh yeah, blue is also tied for second most all time.
All right, very good.
Blue's actually up to plus 375 now.
I like it.
That is a stunning amount of research that was done on this by Rocky Foré. That is, I think the transition has been complete over the season. That's what you see at the end of
what an arc.
2 weeks is quite an arc. That's exactly the way we build it, wasn't it, buddy?
Yep. Exactly.
All right, let's vote on some blue. Plus 375. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, it's a bargain based on recent years.
Great price. Rocky, you laid out your case, man. You absolutely laid out your case. All right, guys, that's it. It's the Super Bowl, so let's have some fun. You guys, going to big Super Bowl parties? Anybody going to Super Bowl party here?
I'm anti Super Bowl party.
David, you're going to a Super Bowl party?
Yes.
Good for you. All right, Rocky, you going to Super Bowl party?
Oh yeah.
Okay, very good. Mason,
hopefully I can make it to the third quarter.
Probably not.
No.
No, I like to lock it down and just actually watch the game.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, guys. Well, as always, we appreciate everybody watching. And
if I had any friends, they might invite me to one, but I don't.
The goats aren't inviting you?
Well, no, they can't come in the house. My wife laid down the law on that one. So I'll be watching the Super Bowl with my friend Rustic Al, and just watching, make sure the goats are doing okay. So be right here.
Okay. Well, now we all just feel horrible. That's just bringing us down. That him and his goats can't find a date. Okay. Hey, thanks very much for an entire season of you guys watching. All the comments, all the positive feedback and the negative feedback. We appreciate any feedback at all. I want to give a special shout out to my partner in crime, Rocky Foré, aka Jordan McKinney, very, very talented young man from Seattle, Washington, now living in Los Angeles, California. Trying to break through as an actor, and I think he's got some chops. And I know he's a good writer. As we wrote everything you saw was written by one of us. So I had a blast working with you. We didn't know what that was going to be like.
Well,
Threw us together back in July. We'd never met or anything, and you had said, "I have this idea. We're going to run with it. We're going to make a combination capping show and sketch show." And I thought everybody was fucking drunk. I didn't think that was at all a thing. And
we still are.
and you guys have proved us wrong. You've given us some nice views. We've hit 10,000 a few weeks, and we're very happy. So we appreciate everybody, and I appreciate these 5 guys right here who have done this for absolutely zero pay. So we have, as you might suspect by watching some of our sketches, we have a relatively tight budget. So these guys have been nice enough to donate their time, and a lot of it, for example, we're now coming in on 240 is how long we've been recording this. So the stuff that you see takes a lot longer. So I appreciate everybody's time and patience as well. You can find Chris. We're going to fix that in post. You can find Chris, of course, on Twitter at Betting Royalty, Reichel Radio for Scott, Mason Foles on Twitter, right? And Get Bet Strong for Delano. And Loud, what's your handle on Twitter?
It's just Loud Esmond.
Loud Esmond. Okay, very good. And of course, I'm the Steamroller. You can find me there. Find us over on Discord. And this is weird. It's probably the last video I'm going to do for a while. So I don't know if we'll be back next season. We'll see what happens. I hope so. We're pitching for it. You guys have a great Super Bowl. Have a great rest of the year. Good luck in basketball. Good luck in baseball when that gets started. And thanks very much. We'll see you next time. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Eat your heart out, DK. 6 seconds flat.